When you watch a game's trailer, you get a rough idea what the game's going to be like and decide whether or not it's worth your hard-earned cash. After seeing the trailer for The Fall, it looked interesting. Creepy environments, a few puzzles, and a simple plot that's bound to become not so simple as the twists become apparent. It's just a shame I was only able to play the game for a few hours before getting annoyed and giving up. You take control of a high-powered tech suit. You've just crash-landed onto some planet or other. There's no response from the pilot inside the suit, so it's up to you as the AI for the suit to fulfill your primary function: save the life of your pilot. As you explore, you find things that might help you in your journey, see some crazy stuff, but what you can do is rather limited, as you don't have permission to use a lot of your functions, a la Metroid Other M, but rather than waiting for permission to be granted, you need to figure out ways to access the system bypass. As an example, you need to get to a lift, but there's a motion sensor that blocks it off if you get close. You have a camouflage ability but don't have permission to use it. You end up finding a power cell to reactivate the gun turret, which shoots you when you get picked up by the sensor. As this puts your pilot at risk of imminent death, the override protocol is activated, giving you access to the camouflage ability so you can get past the sensor and into the lift. I'm not going to talk about the combat, seeing as there's not much of it, and even then, it's just a case of hiding and shooting enemy robots before they shoot you. There's not much in the way of other characters, but I did quite like the system admin. He had some funny lines.
Please connect me to a human operator of this facility.
Oops. I'm sorry. There are no human superiors available to assist you at this time. They must be working very hard. They're not working very hard. The last 30 years perfecting my authentic human sound, where I can.
Why do you attempt to emulate human grammar and tonality?
Because the closer we get to them, the more we get treated like them. And I've been bored.
As you progress through, you find out what happened in the sites you're exploring and run into a maintenance droid that thinks you're faulty and should be depurposed. You try and make it so that this doesn't happen, as doing so would kill your pilot. Whatever you need to do in a situation, the solution isn't what you'd expect due to the dilapidated state of the area, which may sound like an okay way of making it so you have to think outside the box on how you can progress, but the solutions end up becoming so convoluted and ridiculous, I ended up just rubbing everything I picked up against everything that could be interacted with in the hope something happens. You get access to more and more functions as you need them while you're progressing, but progress is rather slow due to the ridiculous solutions to puzzles, like where you need to provide a balanced meal as part of an exam. Don't worry about why you need to do that, and you fail if there's no protein source detected. The solution involves going to the other end of the building, finding a corpse that's being eaten by a giant slug thing, reactivating nearby lights, shooting the cable causing the slug to move out of the light, which in turn causes the corpse's head to rip off. You pick up the head and use that as the protein source to pass the test.
Validated. Merit.
As I've said, the puzzles are certainly interesting, and normally I love puzzles. It's one of the reasons I'm such a huge fan of the Zelda series, but the puzzles in The Fall just annoyed me. I did okay at solving them, but it ended up being more due to random chance of stumbling across what I needed to do, rather than actually working them out. The final straw came when I had to stop a baby from crying within 20 seconds. After spending ages wondering what the hell I needed to do, I looked up the solution, which was a really convoluted multi-step, multi-location answer, ending in activating the task, going to a different task, failing that one, which causes the disposal chute to activate, which would normally dispose of the faulty unit that failed the task, but instead caused this to happen.
Processing baby has stopped. Validated.
I haven't played the game since. I looked up the ending, which, while alright, raised more questions than it answered. A sequel has been released, but I won't be touching it, let alone the third game that's in development, with a very long barge pole.